bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. We can head to the crib in a little bit. I can show you how I live in a little bit. I wanna unbutton your pants just a little bit. Take them off, pull them down just a little bit. Get the kissing and touching a little bit. Get the licking it in a little bit. All a nigga really need is a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. We can head to the crib in a little bit. I can show you how I live in a little bit. I wanna unbutton your pants just a little bit. Take them off, pull them down just a little bit. Get the kissing and touching a little bit. Get the licking it in a little bit.
Know me, still the same OG, but I've been low-key, hated on by most these niggas with no cheese, no deals and no G's, no wheels and no keys, no boats, no snowmobiles and no skis. Mad at me cause I can finally afford to provide my family with groceries. Got a crib with a studio and it's all full of tracks to add to the wall full of plaques, hanging up in the office and back of my house like trophies. Did y'all think I'ma let my dough freeze? Hold please, you better bow down on both knees. Who you think taught you to smoke trees? Who you think brought you the ODs? Eazy-E's, Ice Cubes and DOC's, the Snoop D-O-double-G's, and a group that said motherfuck the police. Gave you a tape full of dope beats to bump when you stroll through in your hood. Or when your album sales wasn't doing too good, who's the doc that he told you to go see? Y'all better listen up closely. All you niggas that said that I turn pop or the firm flop, y'all are the reason that Dre ain't been getting no sleep. So fuck y'all, all of y'all. If y'all don't like me, blow me. Y'all are gonna keep fucking around with me and turn me back to the old me.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. So what do you say to somebody you hate? What? Or anyone trying to bring trouble your way? One of his off things in the blood of your way? Just study your tape of NWA. One day I was walking by with a Walkman on, when I caught a guy, give me an awkward eye. You looking strangled him off in the parking lot, but it's dark and I don't give a fuck if it's dark or not. I'm harder than me trying to park a Dodge, but I'm drunk as fuck. Right next to a humongous truck in a two-car garage. Hopping out with two broken legs, trying to walk it off. Fuck you too, bitch, call the cops. I'ma kill you and them loud-ass motherfucking barking dogs. And when the cops came through, me and Dre stood next to a burned-down house with a can full of gas and a handful of matches, and still weren't found out. Right here, so from here on out, it's the chronic too. Starting the day, and tomorrow's anew. And I'm still local enough to choke you to death with a Charleston chew. Slim Shady, hotter than a set of twin babies. And a Mercedes Benz with the windows up when the temp goes up to the mid-80s. Calling men ladies, sorry doc, but I've been crazy. There's no way that you can save me. It's okay, go with him, Haley. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
If it was up to me, you motherfuckers stop coming up to me with your hands out, looking up to me like you want something free. When my last CD was out, you wasn't bumping me, but now that I got this little company, everybody wanna come to me like it was some disease. But you won't get a crumb from me, cause I'm from the streets of. I told them all the little gangsters, who you think helped mold them all? Now you wanna run around talking about guns like I ain't got none. What you think I sold them all? Cause I stay well off. Now all I get is hate mail all day saying Dre fell off. What? Cause I've been in the lab with a pen in the pad trying to get this damn label off. I ain't having that. This is the millennium of aftermath. It ain't gonna be nothing after that. So give me one more platinum plaque and fuck rap, you can have it back. So where's all the mad rappers at? It's like a jungle in this habitat. But all you savage cats know that I was strapped with gas when you were cuddling the cabbage patch.
Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get a dollar out of me. No Cadillac, no perms, you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking P.I.M.P. I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get a dollar out of me. No Cadillac, no perms, you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking P.I.M.P. Now shorty, she in the club, she dancing for dollars. She got a thing for that Gucci, that Fendi, that Prada, that BCBG, Burberry, Dolce and Gabbana. She feed them fools fantasies, they pay her cause they want her. I spit a little G, man, and my gang got her. An hour later, had her ass up in the Ramada. Them trick niggas in the ear saying they think about her. I got the bitch by the bar trying to get a drink about her. She like my style, she like my smile, she like the way I talk. She from the country, then she like me cause I'm from New York. I ain't that nigga trying to holler cause I want some head. I'm that nigga trying to holler cause I want some bread. I could care less how she perform when she in the bed.
Baltard Man says, thank God Tennessee has a bye week this week. About to start a gauntlet. Bro, after your bye week, you're playing 2 SEC West teams. Jesus Christ. It doesn't get any easier than that. The SEC West is a trash fire.
I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get a dollar out of me. No Cadillac, no perms, you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking P.I.M.P. I'm about my money, you see. Girl, you can holler at me if you fucking with me. I'm a P.I.M.P. Now what you see on TV, no Cadillac, no greasy. Head full of hair, bitch, I'm a P.I.M.P.
I think you meant to type you have 3 bye weeks in a row.
It feels to be with a P.I.M.P. rolling the pins with me. You can watch the TV from the back seat of my V. I'm a P.I.M.P. Girl, we could pop some champagne and we could have a ball. We could toast to the good like girl, we could have it all. We could really spurge, girl, and tear up them all. If ever you need someone, I'm the one you should call. I'll be there to pick you up if ever you should fall. If you got problems, I can solve them, they bigger than small. That other nigga you be with ain't about shit. I'm your friend, your father, and confidant, bitch.
Jaden Daniels stats. 2 losses in September.
No Cadillac, no perms, you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking P.I.M.P. I don't know what you heard about me, but a bitch can't get a dollar out of me. No Cadillac, no perms, you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking P.I.M.P. I told you fools before, I stick with the tools. I keep a Benz, some rims, and some jewels. I holler at a hoe till I got a bitch confused. She got on Payless, me I got on gator shoes. I'm shopping for the chillers, in the summer the cheaper. Man, it's so you can have her. When I'm done, I ain't gon' keep her. Man, bitches come and go. Hey, nigga pimpin' no. This ain't a secret, you ain't gotta keep it on the low. Bitch, choose on me, I you stripping in the street. Put my other hoes down, you get your ass beat. Now Nick, my bottom bitch, she always coming with my bread. The last nigga, she was whipping stitches in her head. Get your hoe out of pocket, I put a charge on the bitch. Cause I need 4 TVs and AMGs for the 6. Home make a pimp rich, I ain't paying bitch. Catch a date, suck a dick.
All I want to hear is that he has gotten better at throwing the ball. You said the opposite last year. No, that's literally exactly what I said. That he needed to get better at throwing the ball. That's literally exactly what I said. It's not his fault he plays on a garbage fucking team.
No Cadillac, no perms, you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking P.I.M.P. Yeah. In Hollywood they say there's no business like show business. In the hood they say there's no business like hoe business. You know? They say I talk a little fast, but if you listen a little fast, I ain't got to slow down for you to catch up, bitch. Yeah.
Is that guy a troll or is he just mentally retarded? I honestly can't tell. I'm slipping.
Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
I'll take you to the candy shop.
Yeah.
One more taste of what I got. I'll have you spending all you got.
Come on.
Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
You can have it your way. How do you want it? You gon' back that thing up?
Georgia looks bad this year. Yeah, 5-0, ranked number 1 in both polls.
Floor jam packed, hot as a tea kettle.
It isn't tonight a school night? What is going on in the chat section?
In the back of the rental, on the beach, in the park, it's whatever you into. Got the magic stick, I'm the love doctor. Hey, your fans teasing you about how I sprung, I got you. Wanna show me you can work it, baby? No problem, get on top, then get to bounce around like a low rider. I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to this shit. After you work up a sweat, you can play with the stick. I'm trying to explain, baby, the best way I can. I melt in your mouth, girl, not in your hand. Take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
Pillhead trailer trash Uncle Lou being supported by his wife. Uncle Lou doesn't have a wife. Or do pills. Uncle Lou's an alcoholic, not a pillhead. Get the trolling right. And Uncle Lou made more in September than you've made this year.
Give it to me, baby. Nice and slow. Climb on top, ride like you're in a rodeo. You ain't never heard it sound like this before. Cause I ain't never put it down like this. Soon as I come through the door, she get the pulling on my zipper. It's like it's a race who could get undressed quicker. Isn't it ironic how erotic it is to watch in thongs? Had me thinking about that ass after I'm gone. I touched the right spot at the right time. Lights on, a lights off, she like it from behind. So seductive, you should see the way she whine. Her hips in slow-mo on the floor.
Dylan says Georgia is beatable. All right. Now type out a list of teams that aren't beatable.
After bottle is on, and we gon' sip to every bubble and every bottle is gone. I take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
I'll take you to the candy shop. Boy, one taste of what I got. I'll have you spending all you got. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
I take you to the candy shop.
Guy thinks I'm married to his mom. I'm not married, man.
Hit the spot. Whoa.
I'll take you to the candy shop. Boy, one taste of what I got. I'll have you spending all you got. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed the...
Have you lost Medicaid or CHIP? At healthcare.gov, 4 out of 5 customers can find a quality plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll in a plan today at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
On my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the state, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams.
Type.
Got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know. Tell me why are we the money, money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour, everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking what's going on in the kitchen. But I don't know what's cooking. They say I got to learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't, I guess they won't, I guess they front. That's why I know my life is out of luck, fool. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. They've been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me?
Yeah, nigga, I'm still fucking with you. Still waters run deep. Still Snoop Dogg and D.R.E. Nah, nigga.
Guess who's back?
Still doing that shit, Andre?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Check me out. It's still Dre Day, nigga. AK, nigga. Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known to rock, you hear the bass from the truck when I'm on the block. Ladies, they pay homage, but haters say Dre fell off. How, nigga, my last album was The Chronic. They wanna know if he still got it. They say raps changed. They wanna know how I feel about
If
it.
you ain't up on
If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret.
Yeah, good morning, and that it's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live on LouTube for you. Thanks for watching. This is Lunch Money with me and Pigskin Pete. What's up, Pete?
Yo, what is up, everybody? Happy Monday and happy week 6 and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if school's out tomorrow or what's going on in the comments section, but shout out to the 12 and under crowd who has joined us here tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope you don't get your phones taken away or grounded or anything like that. But it's good to see y'all in here. Yep. Let's see. Let's take roll. Nick, Jonathan, JC, Cloud 99, K Starg, Sports Talk, Dave's here, Iconic Seth, Little Whitey, Darius Sr., Buffalo Harry, Dylan Mullins, Jay Shipes, PR Sports, Mike Fort, Anthony Cologne, Hold My Beer, Swaggy Man, Senor Dog, Trey Bartolo, Sports Talk 101, which is the simplest kind. Yeah. Dylan Deloney, Pastor Dave, Breaking Parallels, Robert Lane, JD Wicks, Voltard, Representative, Bowman, yep, Zach Bolton, Mrs. Pete, Nick DTV, Flaming Sports Media. I was just talking about you. Be careful. I don't want you to lose your phone privileges. John, Jack Billions, Chunky Nothing. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Welcome to the Lunch Money Show. This is me and Pete. Every Monday night at 10 p.m., we get you set up for all the week's games. We're going to take a look at all the odds today. Try to pick some winners and losers. Figure out a way to lose even more money betting on these college football games, which is the goal. Is college football really even worth watching if you're not losing money on the outcomes? I don't think so.
Probably not.
It's definitely not nearly as depressing. If you think your team losing is sad, try betting money on your team and then watching them lose. Try that.
Yeah, I've been there and done that.
I try to avoid that. I get suckered into it every once in a while. I haven't bet on Georgia any this year, though, luckily, because they haven't covered a single spread. 0-4-1 against the spread, Georgia is.
Somebody in the chat just said I owe them $50. Who was that? And
Let's see it.
I'm pretty sure I'm up to date on my bets here. If I owe somebody $50, I'll definitely send it to them. Let me see here.
Yeah, one thing people need to keep in mind, not just with me and Pete, but if you make any bets with people on YouTube, they probably have hundreds of bets. You probably have one bet.
Right.
So it is, I've forgotten before, too. I don't mind when people remind me.
Yeah.
Once.
But,
don't spam it in the chat, but I try to write all mine down, but.
Well, first of all, if they didn't send me $50, we don't have a bet. So there is that.
Right.
So I have to go through here and see if that's the case. You know what? I'll do it after the show. I'll have to figure out who it was that said that.
Don't you have an email?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever it is, just email him. Remind him what the bet was or whatever is the easiest way.
Harlan Harris says, I did send it. Did you send it through a PayPal or Cash App? So I know where to look. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but a lot of people send me stuff. So, I'll have to track it down. If you did send it to me, I'll send you the money as soon as the game's over. I mean, as soon as the show's over.
Yeah. Turtleneck says, I think everybody in the comments owes me money. Yeah, I hear you. He says, PayPal, I super chatted. No problem. So he's making it as confusing as possible for you.
Yeah. So is it a PayPal or a super chat? Because a super, you can't bet with me through super chat because YouTube takes 50% of that anyway. So I don't know what you mean by that, but anyway, I'll check through my PayPal. I'll track it down. I'll find it. If it's there, I believe you. I don't think you're lying. If that's the case, I'll PayPal you your winnings as soon as the show's over. There you go.
All right, let's get to it. I think Edward is coming on tonight. He was off last week on account of a Jew holiday or Jewish holiday, whatever. But I believe he's back on today. So looking forward to catching up with him. And then, of course, we will take a look at all of the odds for this coming weekend's games, week 6 of the 2023 college football season. Of course, biggest game of the week, Texas and OU, Georgia, Kentucky, another ranked versus ranked game coming up this week. We'll take a look at them all like we mentioned, try to figure out a way to make or lose some money. Let's see. Oh, Edward's in the back now. Okay, good.
No.
Let's get caught up with Edward. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Lou? What's up, Pete? Happy Monday, and I'm on the best show on the internet that's about absolutely nothing. Well, at least this is on the spreading that you guys do, so it's about something. So, but I guess off season's about nothing.
Well, it's still kind of about nothing. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but I still enjoy being on this show that is about nothing. So
Yeah.
How was your holiday, Edward?
oh, it was great. Yes, saw my nieces. My oldest just turned 18. She's Georgia State. No, not the one downtown. No, there's in the Milton area. She's at. She's taking some classes there. She's also going to be applying at some colleges. So that'll be good. I'll be happy wherever she gets accepted to. I'll be happy.
Right. That's great.
Yes.
So you had to not eat on that holiday, didn't you?
Yeah, Yom Kippur. That is the one. That's the only religious holiday where you fast.
So how'd you do on that?
Oh, did pretty darn well. Fasted the whole way through.
So what hours do you have to fast? Is it certain hours?
Yeah, from like 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
No, you're talking intermittent. What do they call it? Intermittent fasting is what they call that.
So what day is Yom Kippur? Monday?
It was this past month. It was Sunday. It generally starts like you eat like Sunday evening, and then that's like your last meal. And then after that, you basically don't eat the rest of the entire like Sunday, Monday, and you fast all Monday until about, I don't know, it's 6, 7 o'clock.
So
it's time.
So you eat dinner on Sunday and you eat dinner on Monday, but you don't eat in between.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's intermittent, because intermittent, it's like you can pick your pick when you want to eat.
I don't know why I ever ask you anything. Never mind.
I don't do intermittent, so
yeah. Getting you to explain something is one of the most difficult tasks in human history.
Yeah. Right.
So, are you allowed to watch any football?
I was about to ask
Well,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No doubt. I'm a college football guy like you guys.
Good.
Still think it should be played on the campuses, but hey, nothing we can do about it.
Hey, Edward, do you remember what happened on your week off? Who played that weekend?
Oh, I do know Florida State and Clemson did play.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that?
And Florida State won.
They did.
Wee! Hello! Yeah, and I think you and I, Pete, we had a deal that I was to clown the loser.
Yeah.
And Clemson lost. So I believe it would be appropriate to clown Clemson.
I think it would be, yeah.
Yeah, I could go ahead and do that right now.
That's literally why you're on here.
Exactly. That is literally why I'm on here. I mean, the only other reason to be on here is to make picks, but hey, we'll discuss that after. Okay, let's get on with the clowning. Viewer discretion is advised, parental advisory. If there's anybody here on the panel or in the comment section or anybody that is pretty crazy to be streaming at the same time as this broadcast, if you guys need to go to the restroom or get water, please do so at this time. I'm going to go ahead and take a little quick swig of water. Anybody else? Anyone else? No? Okay. Well, buckle your seatbelts. You've been warned, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. Okay. Well, Clemson, it's time for you boys to get your prick asses into the clowning box, take your medicine, eat your crow. Hey, guess what, Clemson? No buffet for you. Well, Clemson, let's see. You played my Florida State Seminoles, and let's see, where was the game? Oh, yeah, Death Valley. We had to travel all the way to Death Valley. Well, it's really not that far because, hey, we only go through, Georgia and then, South Carolina. That's about it. Not too bad travel for us, but, yeah, easy for you guys. But, hey, Travel didn't really matter because geography doesn't matter. So let's see. You played Florida State, Clemson, and you lost. How did you lose in Death Valley? Please explain that to me. Does any Clemson fans want to come on up here and list about 1,000 excuses to how y'all lost? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd be interested in hearing all that. Yeah. Yeah, you lost. Oh, yeah, overtime. That's right. You lost in overtime. Oh, so I guess after the game, Dabo Swinney decided to take you guys to some cheap dump motel in Clemson, in Charleston, or Clemson, or wherever in South Carolina he went, which is about 5 hours from the stadium or something. Certainly you find something out there. Oh, yeah, he probably had some really nice looking strippers, prostitutes, and I don't know what else you had with you. And y'all went to some cheap dump motel, rolling around in the bed with them. And of course, and it was infested with cockroaches and palmettos. Oh my God. Oh, is that terrible? Oh, boy, Dabo Swinney must be pretty darn cheap nowadays, isn't he? Doesn't want to take them to like one of those, real live Motel 6s or something. I guess he didn't want to take a chance on that because if they decide to go to a Motel 6, they'll turn the lights out when they see him coming. So, of course they would. Oh, and then I'm sure right after they were ready to leave, cockroaches probably left a note saying, "Clean this place up." Oh man, woo's that bad. Oh, and then what was next? You decided to hit some dump strip club in the same area. Not too far. Thank God it wasn't that far from the motel there. Oh yeah, some strip club in the projects, I'm sure. Oh yeah, you got your face smacked for at least 12 hours. Oh my God. And then you get drunk. Oh yeah, and then you blow about $50,000 to just to have intercourse with the girls in the VIP room. Oh my God, you get so drunk there. Then you end up, and here's where it really goes downhill. You end up at her home. And where's her house? In the projects! Oh, that's gotta be terrible. Yeah, because I'm sure you're passed out in her bed there too. I'm cooking breakfast. Yeah, she's cooking up some nice breakfast for you. Of course, here's what you're waking up to. Good morning! What would you like for me to make for you for breakfast? Oh, yeah, Clemson, I'm sure you enjoyed that. You had to have. Oh, are you enjoying that every single day now? Oh, Dabo Swinney, how can you allow that to happen? Oh, wait, I don't know if you got someone who does that for you or not. I mean, oh, yeah, you only have 2 national titles, so it really doesn't matter except with you. 2 national titles? Oh, God. Come on. I mean, what? I mean, Florida State's got 3 national titles. You see them running around and going to dump motels and strip clubs in the projects or something? Oh, no, you don't. Oh, jeez. That's got to be terrible. I mean, just for that, Clemson, I don't like to do this to you, but Clemson, right now, after losing in overtime to Florida State, but before I get to it, some of y'all probably got arrested. Some of y'all probably got disappeared into the Bermuda Triangle. And some of y'all probably out running around with a Bible in one hand and a slut in the other. And I'm pretty sure, it wouldn't surprise me if some of the football players are running around on campus with a Bible in one hand and a couple sluts in the other too. If anyone sees any football players running around with a couple of sluts on campus, please contact the Clemson University campus police immediately. Reward? Maybe we'll make it $500,000 or something. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Well, anyway, Clemson, now I got to do it to you. Guess what? You garbage. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Look at this. Boy, you just jumped right in that trash can immediately, didn't you? Yeah, yep. Say hello. This is who won. Congratulate them with they won. So Clemson, look at you got you see Clemson in here? Do you see him in here? Clemson, you got it. Losing to Florida State is 100% grade A unacceptable. Man, I wonder what the rest of your schedule looks like. I mean, you could be in for a pretty rough road. Oh my God. That's got to be, I don't know how you're going to recover from that loss. And that's the bottom line because I said so, you stupid pricks.
Well, damn.
Yeah. Edward, do you have any idea which games you want to pick today?
Well, I know 4 I'd like to pick. Is you go 5 or is it 4?
It's 5, but you need to know the 5.
Yeah, I do know at least 4 that I'd like to pick.
What are they?
The 5th, I'll have to see. Let's see. Texas, Oklahoma. Gimme Texas. Ohio State.
Hold on, I gotta look. Edward.
Yes.
Slow down.
Okay.
Slow down.
Okay.
You want Texas -6.
Yes.
Right. What's next?
Next, we'll do Ohio State, Maryland. Give me Ohio State.
What time?
Got any other picks or
what time is that game, Edward?
Which one?
Ohio State, Maryland.
I'm not sure the time on that one.
All right, next time you come on here, you need the game and the time, or it'll be your last time on here.
Oh.
You want Ohio State?
Yes.
Ohio State -19.5.
We've already confirmed he doesn't even understand what the spread is. So just,
All right, who you want it? But I still have to write it down so I know if you won or lost.
I know.
Okay, let's see. That's 2. Let's see. I know there's Southern Cal and Arizona State. Give me. I'll take.
Southern Cal doesn't play Arizona State. Colorado plays Arizona State.
Cal. They should be.
What? Edward, Colorado plays Arizona State, not Southern Cal.
Southern Cal, Arizona.
All right, Edward, thanks for coming on. It was good to hear from you today.
Yeah, good trash talk session there. Sorry if I was silent during that. So the guy that was saying that I owed him $50, that was bothering me. So I've been looking through the past year of PayPal transactions and Cash App transactions, and I don't have a single one from him. I've got a bunch of bets on here for Clemson under 9.5. I didn't make a bet on the Florida State game. I knew I didn't. That's why it was bothering me. So I don't know. I don't know if you're trolling me or what, but I don't know what to tell you. I don't have that. Send me a screenshot of the completed PayPal. Email me the screenshot of the completed PayPal transaction or whatever you sent it through, and email it to me because I don't have it. Sorry.
Shout out to Edward for coming on, but I can only take so much. So the guy's internet doesn't work. He screams and yells and makes no sense at all. He doesn't know what games he wants to pick, even though we've been doing this for 6 weeks straight. He has no idea what time the games are on. the games he does want to pick, the teams aren't even playing each other. Can't hear what he's saying. So,
Yeah.
looking forward to doing all of that again next Monday.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, can't wait. All right, let's pull up the list of games and go through them. And I don't know if is it me? Maybe I didn't pay enough attention before. I don't know. It seems like every Friday night there are good games on. I mean, this isn't a great game, but Kansas State and Oklahoma State, Nebraska and Illinois both play on Friday. I don't know if I've just not been paying attention to that before, but I don't know. It seems to me like we're getting better games on Friday. Now, the Thursday games are a joke. We used to get one good Thursday game. Pete, you're old like me. You remember that? You'd get one good game on Thursday. Everything else was on Saturday. Now we've got shitty games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but they're giving us a game or two on Friday. I don't know what's going on, but Kansas State at Oklahoma State, I'm just done with Oklahoma State. I think, and the reason I'm done with them is because it feels to me like Gundy is done with them. And if the head coach is done with his own team, so am I. I'll take Kansas State late 11.5. On the Nebraska-Illinois game, I'm also done with Nebraska for this season. I'll take Illinois minus 3.5.
Oh, God. Illinois is favored. That's something. Yeah, give me Illinois on that one, too. There's no ACC games on Friday this week, though.
That's right. Or Pac-12. It's usually one of the two or both.
Yeah.
Yeah, little strange. What do you think about Kansas State, Oklahoma State?
What's the line on that? I'm looking. Oh, 11.5?
Yeah.
God dang. Well, Oklahoma State's in a trash can right now.
Yes.
Is there even such thing as home field advantage this year for them? I don't think so. Give me Kansas State on that.
All right, there you go. Make your money, people. All right, I think this has a chance to be a good game. Maryland on the road at Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 19.5. I'm going to take Maryland in the points here.
Yeah.
So, you know what? And I'm going to tell you what I'm tempted to do. I really think Maryland might beat one of the three. I don't have any idea which one it'll be, but I think these odds are going to be about the same against all three. You can take Maryland on the money line, and if they win one of the three, you're going to make a lot of money. If you bet $100, you win $750. So you'll lose two of the bets. That's $200 gone, but you'll make $750, so you'll net $550 if you take, depending on what the odds are for the other two games, but it'll be similar to this. So I might do that. I might put a money line bet on Maryland against Ohio State, and then if they don't win, money line against Michigan, and if they don't win that, money line against Penn State. But for picking this game, I'll take Maryland into points. I think this could be a close game.
Yeah, I'm not as brave as you. I wouldn't take Maryland on the money line here, although the set plus 750 is very tempting. But yeah, I don't, this is one of those lines I don't understand. 19.5 points. Maryland's offense is legit. And I think it'll be a lot closer than that. So I'll take the points, but I'll take Maryland.
Yeah. And I wouldn't take the money line only on this game. If I decided to take Maryland in the money line, it would be a 3. I would go into it knowing I'm also taking Maryland on the money line against Michigan and Penn State. Because I think they can beat one of them. I don't know which one it'll be. I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
But I would do all three. All right, Texas and Oklahoma, probably the biggest game of the week. Texas or Oklahoma getting close to the top 10. I have them, I think, at number 10 in my ranking, but they're in the top 15, I believe, in every ranking now. Undefeated, top 10 offense and defense. Might be top 5. I know it was top 5 a couple of weeks ago. Might still be top 5, but it's at least top 10 offense and defense, and kind of flying under the radar. Not a lot of people talking about them after kind of a disappointing first season last year under Venables, but they've looked good this year, albeit against subpar competition. Texas, I think, has played a tougher schedule so far than Oklahoma, so is a little more proven. So I'm not at all surprised that Texas is favored here. Some people may be surprised that it's only a 6-point spread. Maybe you were expecting it to be a little more in favor of Texas. I think I'm going to go with Texas here. I'm not sure. It's Oklahoma is definitely better than they were last year. There's no doubt or question about it. I mean, they gave up 30 points every time somebody rolled a football on the field last year. They're much improved defensively, and the offense is playing well too. I don't know yet if they're at the level to be able to compete with a team the caliber of Texas. Under a touchdown, I'll take Texas here. I don't. I doubt I would actually bet on this game. These rivalry games can be weird. There's a big revenge factor for Oklahoma because not only did they get beat last year, they just got embarrassed. 49-0, I think the score was last year. I think Texas is a little more tested. Both teams played this past weekend. Neither got caught slipping up or screwing around or looking forward. Both handled business fairly easily. Texas's ground game too is really starting to come alive. I like that running back they have. He looked really good this last week. Every time I go to talk about him, I draw a blank. I think it's Jonathan Brooks, but I might be wrong about that. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I think it's Jonathan Brooks. Anyway, so it's not just Quinn Ewers and those wide receivers. Jonathan Brooks has looked good the last couple of weeks, but Oklahoma's got some playmakers too. The quarterback is playing well. The defense is night and day difference from last year. I am not counting Oklahoma out in this, but the whole point of this show, we have to make a pick on all these games. Doesn't mean we have to bet on them, but we have to make a pick. I'm going to take just under a touchdown. I'll take Texas, who you could make a case should be ranked number 1 in the country. I'll take Texas.
Yeah, so both teams obviously undefeated, both teams playing well. Texas faced better competition so far than Oklahoma, but Oklahoma has not just gone out there and struggled against bad teams. They put pretty much everybody out.
Yeah.
And maybe
I think
the biggest
their closest
turnaround
game is SMU, and SMU's not. I mean, they're not ranked, but they're not terrible. They're not UAB. Like UAB is horrible. Like there's some horrible group of 5 teams. Like SMU's a decent team. Oklahoma beat them 28-11. Like that's okay. That's not a bad result against SMU. Every game they've looked good.
Oklahoma's impressed me. I mean, honestly.
Me too.
And if this game, and this is obviously a rivalry game, and the whole thing, anything could happen in rivalry games. I mean, in the past few years, that hasn't really been true. It's been a little bit lopsided, but this is actually true. I think that you have 2 pretty evenly matched teams, in my opinion. And if this game were in Austin, I would probably take a Texas -6. But I think this game could come down to a field goal or something, or even overtime. I'm going to take Oklahoma in the points at +6 here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
It should be good.
I mean, Texas has that win against Bama. They're undefeated, and so you're like, okay, they have a mulligan. They could lose here. But so could Oklahoma. Like both of, I don't, not to say either of these teams is definitely making the playoffs, but the loser of this game is not necessarily out of it. I mean, if you look around the Big 12, which overall I think is a little disappointing this year, like Texas Tech has turned out to be nothing. Baylor can't win a scrimmage against themselves. TCU has obviously taken steps backwards. Kansas, we were talking a couple of weeks ago that Kansas might be the 3rd best team. They got blown out by Texas. So we may see this game twice. Can you believe, Pete, that we've only seen, the Big 12 hasn't had divisions for like a decade now. We've only seen Texas and Oklahoma play twice, one time. That's surprising. That's surprising. It's kind of like when Miami and Florida State joined the ACC, and everybody said, "Oh, well, it's going to be Miami versus Florida State every year in the ACC title game," and we haven't seen it a single time. We did see Texas and Oklahoma play in the Big 12 title game, but only once, I think. They could be headed that direction again this year, but this is this is going to be a great game. I'm excited for that one.
It is. You were just mentioning how they've only played each other, all the years that there's been no divisions. I mean, Oklahoma dominated most of that during Lincoln Riley, but even some of those games when Texas was down compared to Oklahoma, those were still close games.
Yeah.
And I don't expect anything different. I mean, I'd be shocked if somebody won this game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think it's going to be close.
Paul says I'm full of shit. Am I forgetting something? Miami and Florida State haven't played in the ACC title game, have they?
No.
Miami's only even made it one time to the title game, and they played who'd they play that year? Pitt or something?
It wasn't Florida State.
No, it was 2017. I forget who they played that year. I don't know what he means. I'm full of shit. unless he just means in general. But I thought
Well,
he was talking.
that might be true.
Yeah, I thought he was maybe talking about something specific that I said, but yeah, I don't remember Miami.
They played Clemson in that year.
Oh,
yeah, Clemson went to the playoffs. Remember, they lost to Alabama.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That was with Kelly Bryant, and then the next year is when Trevor Lawrence came in as a freshman. That's right. That was in between. That's right. That was the year in between y'all's two titles.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson won the ACC 6 years in a row between 15 and 21.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, moving right along. Rutgers at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is another team. They still just have the one loss, don't they? To Washington State.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, they. So, do you think they're the big team, best team in the Big Ten West? I mean, Iowa. You know, it's fun to make fun of Iowa, but I mean, you know, they got blown out by Penn State. But like a legitimate offense is going to beat Iowa. But I don't know. I guess Iowa still has a chance over there. But I like Wisconsin's chances to win the West. Rutgers. Got blown out by, was it Michigan, I think? I don't know about 14. It is at Wisconsin. That's probably one of the tougher places in the Big Ten West to play. But I am high. I still think Wisconsin's going to win the Big Ten West. I think they'll win this game too, but I don't know about 14. I'm going to take Rutgers in the points here. I think Greg Schiano, low-scoring defensive game here, I think. I'm going to take Rutgers in the points.
Well, the over-under confirms your suspicion of a low-scoring game here at 47. And with the over-under at 47 and a spread at 2 touchdowns, I'm taking the underdog 90% of the time. So I'm with you. Give me Rutgers with the points. I think Wisconsin wins this by 10 or 12.
Yeah.
They might. I don't know. You asked who the best team in the West is. I guess it. You know what? I haven't really thought about that until you said that. I guess it is Wisconsin. I mean,
yeah. I
can't really think of another team to put in that category. Who's worse, the Big Ten West or the SEC West?
Wow. I'd probably say the Big Ten West, but man.
Yeah, man, I would too.
I mean, you're comparing two different piles of shit to try to figure out which one stinks the least there. I don't know. Yeah. I've been trolling this shit out of the SEC West people.
Well, I mean,
all right, we both like Rutgers in that one. Let's see. LSU on the road at Mizzou. This is an interesting game here. I'm going to take the underdog again. LSU reeling after giving up half 100 and a loss to Ole Miss this past weekend. Their second loss, which knocks them out of any playoff contention at all. They're still alive in the SEC West because that first loss was a non-conference loss. So they only have the one loss. They still get a crack at Bama later in the year. They still get to play Texas A&M later in the year. So all hope not lost for LSU in terms of winning the SEC, but I don't know if they can rebound after that track meet from last week. And Missouri's a decent team. I mean, they've already beaten Kansas State at home. Kansas State's no world beater, but they're a really well-coached team. And, you know, that was a great game. So Missouri's been tested. They came through, won that game against Kansas State at home with a field goal at the end, getting almost a touchdown here. Plus, they're in the East and LSU's in the West. So, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Give me Missouri and the points.
LSU's going to lose this game. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Back-to-back road games. I mean, we've seen, look, Florida State's obviously a good team. They ran up and down the field on them in the second half of that game like LSU's defense didn't even exist. Same thing with Ole Miss. This game's on the road, back-to-back road games for LSU. The over-under 63.5, that tells you all you need to know about what Vegas thinks about LSU's defense. I think they lose back-to-back games here. I think Missouri wins. Give me Missouri on the money line at plus 215.
There you go. There you go. Missouri's quarterback just broke the SEC record for most pass attempts without an interception.
Yeah. They're not a bad team. I mean, look, I don't think Missouri's going to win the East or anything or compete for the playoffs or any of that. But this is not the Missouri of most years, right? The same way that we talk about Duke as not being the Duke team of normal years in the ACC. I mean, this is a legit team, and they're going to give LSU all they can handle.
Yeah, this Missouri team to me is closer to the Missouri team that entered the SEC 10 years ago. than the Missouri team that they kind of turned into over the last 3 or 4 years. But if you remember, Missouri actually won the SEC East like their second and third year in the league or something, if I remember right. I don't not to say they're, like you said, I don't think they're winning the East either, but they're closer to that than they are the 6-6 team that they've been for the last 3 or 4 years in a row. I think this is another one that could be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna ruin somebody's season, but I mean, technically LSU's season might already be ruined with 2 losses, but only 1 loss in the SEC. This might be the one they might ruin their chances to compete for the West, to win the West title in this game.
Second biggest group of Missouri fans on the planet this week, Notre Dame fans.
Oh God, yeah.
Boy, the whole thing that goes on between so Notre Dame fans want 2 things every week. They want Notre Dame to win. They want Brian Kelly to lose. Oklahoma, a similar thing. They want to win. They want to see Lincoln Riley and Southern Cal lose every week. Like, it's it's fascinating to watch and read and listen to, like, the Notre Dame fans and how happy they get when LSU loses. And same thing with Oklahoma and Southern Cal and Lincoln Riley. Like, neither one of those fan bases can believe, like, that the coach broke up with them willingly to take another job still. Like, it really is like scorned lover syndrome with Notre Dame fans and Oklahoma fans. But yeah, so Notre Dame be pulling for Missouri in that one.
I get it. Do you know LSU's 4-4 in their last 8 games?
Wow.
Man,
that includes a blowout loss to Georgia.
Yep.
Wow. I'll let you take a quick stab here. Marshall at NC State, just because I know it's one of your favorite punching bags, and Marshall ain't a terrible team.
Yeah, NC State's going to lose this game. I mean, they are. Look, I would definitely take the points here. Marshall just a better team. NC State, I don't know. You know how when especially like Alabama fans and even Clemson fans in recent years, that this is a rebuilding year. You know that whole thing, right? Well, this is kind of a rebuilding year for NC State. Not rebuilding into being a playoff team, but rebuilding into being a team that can win 8 or 9 games a year. They'll be lucky to make a bowl game this year. They suck. Dave Doran, he won't get fired. He won't be put on the hot seat because it's NC State. We know that. But NC State's going to lose at home to Marshall. Sorry. The ACC is there another conference out there where we have teams that lost more teams to more teams from lower classification conferences than the ACC? This will be no different. Give me the herd in this one.
Go. Here you go. Here's one for those of you that don't like to stay up late, but you still want to watch a good Pac-12 game. Washington State at UCLA. Washington State, I believe, are they still undefeated? I think they are. UCLA has 1 loss to Utah. This could be a good one here.
Is Washington State undefeated? Are you sure about that?
I think they are, because they beat Oregon State.
They did beat Oregon State. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe they are.
I think they are still undefeated.
Wow. And unranked, too.
Are they? I don't think they're unranked.
No, maybe they're not unranked.
They're in the teens somewhere. They beat this one. They're going to be hovering. They win this game, they'll be hovering around the top 10, I think. On the road at UCLA. UCLA is a 4-point favorite. I think Washington State is a little bit better of a team than UCLA, but I'm just going to fall back on my overall philosophy about the Pac-12 here. This is part of the blender process of the Pac-12 here. Some of these better teams are going to lose. Like, I don't think Washington State's a ton better than UCLA, but I think they're a little bit better. But you can see it. I mean, UCLA's even favored here. And I do think Washington State loses. I just this is one of those games I think that is going to be so dangerous for the Pac-12, and there's 15 of these coming up. I mean, you got Oregon and Washington in a couple of weeks. Basically, all these teams start playing each other, and this is the problem. I'm going to take Washington State to get the. I'm going to take UCLA to win at home here, and I'll lay the 4 points. I think this will be a good game, but I think UCLA gets it done at home in front of 19 people. With a target.
All right, well, considering the fact that Washington State beat Oregon State and they are undefeated and ranked, and UCLA lost to a team that has 0 offense in Utah, I'm going to take Wazoo here on the road. I mean, look, there's no home field advantage for UCLA. There might be 3 people there for this.
Yep.
So I don't, it's not like they have to travel across state lines or anything. They have to fly down to LA. No big deal there. Give me Wazoo in this, a +4.
All right. And another really big game this week, the 3:30 game on CBS, Alabama on the road at Texas A&M. Oh, let me make a disclaimer real quick. I meant to do this at the start of the show today. So when I go through these picks every Monday night on Lunch Money, somebody even mentioned this morning. Somebody mentioned this morning on the morning show. They asked me, what's the line on such and such game? And I said, I haven't looked. I try not to look at any of the lines until the Lunch Money show because I like to just give my kind of first initial reactions to what I see on the Lunch Money show. Last week, every week, I do a series of prediction videos during the week, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, of some of the bigger games. And it was pointed out in the comment section on one of those videos that in my prediction video, I picked a different way than I picked on the Lunch Money show. The last prediction I make is the one you control me on. Like this is my initial thoughts. Since when I get ready, when I sit down to do the prediction videos, I'll read up on the matchups a little bit. This is all off the top of my head. I'm not looking anything up. I don't know. For all I know, Texas A&M. They don't. But like some quarterback may be injured. I don't know any of that. This is my initial thoughts when I look at these games here. So I'm leaning right now. Alabama on the road here. I am having a hard time buying back into Texas A&M. A lot of people are, but I'm having a hard time getting the Miami game out of my head. And maybe Max Johnson ends up being great, but like Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino chose Connor Wegman for a reason. And I know Texas A&M has looked good for a couple of weeks in a row, and Max Johnson's looked okay, but I don't know about Max Johnson against this Alabama defense. Anyway, the point of all that is I'm sure I'll do a video on this game later in the week. I'm going to pick Alabama now -2.5. If I change my mind and I pick Texas A&M on Wednesday, I mean, you can troll me either way. I don't give a shit. But if you point out, well, why'd you do this on Lunch Money and this on a prediction video during the week, that's why. These are just my initial thoughts on the game here. But I'm leaning Alabama and lay the 2.5. Mildew is still not any good, but I do think the Alabama coaching staff, the offensive staff, is figuring out how best to use him. He completed a very high percentage of his passes this last weekend and somehow managed not to throw an interception in the end zone, which is a huge step forward for him. I don't think there's anything that can be done to turn Mildew into some sort of elite college quarterback or something like that, but I do think the offensive staff can adjust. I think the offense can adjust to put him in better situations going forward. And maybe that's part of what happened this past weekend. The other part of it is they played Mississippi State, who's either the worst or second worst team in the SEC. But one thing that has not disappointed this year outside of the Texas game is Alabama's defense. Even in the South Florida game that we all like to laugh at, they gave up 3 points in that game. The defense is playing at a high level. And it's just still hard for me to fully trust Texas A&M in these big games. So I'm leaning Alabama, and under a field goal, I'll lay the points. And if I change my mind, I'll let you know in a prediction video this week. But for now, I'm leaning Alabama, lay the 2.5.
Yeah, as far as changing your mind from Monday to Friday, that's normal. First of all, things happen between Monday and Friday. You might find out somebody, on Thursday is ruled out of the game. That's important. Somebody gets suspended, whatever. So changing your pick from Monday, I mean, we're doing this on Monday. There's still 6 days before the game's played. So, but this is a tough one. I think Alabama does have the best defense in the West. I think that's pretty much established at this point. I saw some people in the comments section saying if Wegman plays, then they would take A&M. If not, then they would take Alabama. I don't really know if that matters, honestly. I think that Johnson is just as capable as Wegman is from what I've been able to tell so far.
He's looked good.
Yeah. Typically, the home team gets a 3-point advantage for being at home. Only 2.5 here. I'm actually going to, first of all, the winner, in my opinion, based on the woes of LSU lately, and I'm out on LSU. I mean, I just am. I feel like the winner of this game is most likely going to win the West. You know what? I'm actually going to take A&M here. I don't feel comfortable about it though, at all.
Yeah,
it's hard to bet against Nick Saban in this type of situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
especially not only are you betting against Nick Saban, you're betting in favor of Jimbo Fisher.
Well, yeah, well, now you're about to talk me out of it. Out of all the picks we've made so far, I feel least confident about this one. But I'm going to take A&M only because they're at A&M and it's less than a field goal. So give me A&M, and I do want the 2.5 points too. I'm not going to just take it on the money line.
Yeah.
Not that it would be worth it anyway. At only plus 110. But yeah, give me A&M and the points here.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Probably be the most watched game of the week. Syracuse at North Carolina. This is an interesting game. North Carolina's still undefeated too, right?
Yeah,
and
they had a bye week last week.
That's right. And Syracuse took their first loss of the season at home last week to your Clemson Tigers. Now North Carolina is an 8.5-point favorite. I'm going to let you do most of the talking on this one since it's ACC, but I'm leaning North Carolina here. This is kind of the same thing that happened to Syracuse last year. 3-0, 4-0. Whatever it was, and then it just all comes undone when they start playing anything close to a legitimate team. I'm going to kind of go for that again. And I was disappointed in Syracuse quarterback. I know Clemson has a good defense, but I thought he would have played better at home, biggest game of their year. I was disappointed in him, so I can't buy in now with him on the road. And North Carolina's defense has improved. It's not lights out, but it's not what it was last year either. I'm going to take North Carolina at home, lay the 8.5. I still really like Drake May. Give me the Tar Heels later points.
Yeah, so North Carolina's kind of waiting in the wings. I mean, all the talk is, circling around Florida State and Miami, mainly in the ACC. They're sitting back undefeated. They have a bye week. Syracuse has a tough game against Clemson where they get mauled. And then they have to go on the road after that loss to North Carolina, who's had a week off to prepare for them. I mean, the North Carolina coaches were sitting at home last week watching, taking notes on how to disrupt the Syracuse offense, which is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. But, all of the things that you can say that would favor North Carolina in this, being on a bye week, being at home, a physical game against Clemson for Syracuse, they got banged up. I mean, all the things point to North Carolina should roll here. And like you mentioned, North Carolina's defense is much improved from last year. In my opinion, they still have one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Drake May. I don't like that number, though. I don't like the 8.5. That's a weird line. You don't usually see that number very often. I don't know what it opened up as. I'm assuming it didn't open up at that. But I'm going to take the Tar Heels here and lay the 8.5.
All right, Wake Forest on the road at Clemson. This might surprise you, but I'm taking Clemson and laying the points here. I don't know. I'm kind of not. I'm not too high on Wake Forest. Sam Hartman was a miracle worker for them, and he's at Notre Dame now. And I don't know. I think Clemson keeps it going. Good win for them last week on the road at Syracuse. They come back home and finally get to rush the field after a win instead of a loss. Give me the Tigers, lay to 21.
Yeah. Normally, I would not take the Tigers with that big of a spread based on recent events, right? This is not the same Wake Forest we've seen the past couple of years with Sam Hartman. They're just not very good. Clemson right now is improving. Cade Klubnik finally looks, comfortable in that offense. We saw the first week, last week of the entire season where he didn't turn the ball over, even though he could have. There was a couple of interceptions that got dropped, in my opinion. But Clemson's defense right now, absolutely rolling. And I don't expect that to change in this game. I honestly don't see if Wake Forest would be lucky to manufacture 14 points in this game, unless they get some sort of turnover, which is definitely possible with Clemson, or some sort of special teams, turnover for a touchdown or something like that, a kick return. So, I think Clemson rolls in this one big by 3 or 4 touchdowns. So give me the Tigers at home. And also, it's not like Clemson next week is looking forward to playing against North Carolina or Miami. They have a bye week next week, so they can focus all their attention this week on the Demon Deacons. I expect a big win in Clemson, South Carolina.
Yeah, Sam Hartman threw 6 touchdown passes in this game last year against Clemson, and Wake Forest still lost. And now they don't have Sam Hartman. So I don't see it in the cards for Wake Forest. I like Clemson to roll. Purdue at Iowa. Iowa's favored by 2.5. This might surprise people. I'm actually going to take Iowa. I think they win. What does he have to average? 25 points a game to keep his job, that offensive coordinator?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Iowa 24, Purdue 13. Give me Iowa in the under. The best parlay in all of sports. Iowa in the under.
Well, you're more confident than me in them covering. I do think Iowa wins and covers, but not by as much as you say.
Thinking more 13-10.
Something like that, yeah. Do you think he'll actually get fired? Or, I mean, it's in the contract, isn't it?
It's not in the contract that he'll get fired, I don't think.
He just doesn't get a raise.
He makes basically minimum wage, which is I don't know, $200,000 or something. But
right,
yeah. But I do think he will then get fired. But I don't think the contract is drawn up that he's automatically fired if they don't hit that number. The it's all around money incentives. If he does hit it, he gets this money and that money.
It's either he gets fired by his dad or they fire both the son and the dad.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 deal there, I think.
Yeah. All right. Scrolling right along here. Here we go. Vandy on the road at Florida. Florida favored by 18.5. Now this has the possibility. I love to find a couple of games every week that could potentially be like the funniest loss of the week. This is a candidate here. Florida got absolutely embarrassed. That's the worst way to lose. Forget the score. The worst way to lose is when a team just goes, okay, we're going to line up. We're going to hand the ball to this guy off right tackle over and over and over again. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that's what Kentucky did to Florida. It's just dehumanizing. I actually think Florida will recover and win the game. And I'm even going to take Florida to cover the 18.5. I am completely off the Vandy train, which does not make me happy because I, of course, picked Vandy to win over 3.5, and it's just not going to happen. I know Vanderbilt beat Florida last year. That was a little later in the year. It was at Vanderbilt. Florida was in give-up mode by that point. I don't think they're in give-up mode now. But they're not a good team. But I do think they'll take care of business at home. I'm actually going to lay the 18.5 with Florida in this one.
So Vanderbilt they're bottom 3 in Power 5. Like they're right up there with the Northwesterns and the Virginias of the world. They are that bad. And I think this line would have been actually more, being that it's in Florida, if Florida didn't shit the bed against Kentucky the way that they did. Florida's a bad team too, yeah, but not anywhere close to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's got no answer for anything. They got no offense. They've got no defense. They are the definition of bad. I expect Florida to roll in this game. That is a lot of points, though, for not only a conference game, but a division game.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, though. I think Florida wins this by 4 touchdowns, at least.
All right, Central Florida on the road at Kansas. This one's interesting to me, too. Kansas took their first loss of the season this past weekend at Texas. Central Florida was involved in that wild game with Baylor.
Oh,
that was crazy. What were they down? 35 points at one time or something?
It was 28 points, I think it was.
And Baylor came storming back. I would need to know more information about the Kansas quarterback. He didn't play last week against Texas, and he's just such a big part of what they do. And unlike some other teams that recruit well, when Kansas loses a starter, it's much
a big deal,
more of a big deal, especially when it's their best starter. They just don't have the depth that good recruiting teams have. So I'm going to have to find out for sure one way or the other. If I knew the quarterback was playing, I would take Kansas at home and lay the 2.5. If he's not playing, I would take Central Florida on the money line. Like Kansas is just nowhere near the team without Daniels that they are with him. Assuming he's not going to play, I'm going to take the Fighting Goose Malzoons and Central Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I'm still going to take Kansas here at less than a field goal at home. This is the problem with UCF joining the Big 12. The Big 12 outside of Texas, I mean, look, you got Texas, you got Oklahoma, and like the surprise team of the year right now so far is West Virginia, right? The rest of those teams that we thought were going to be decent just aren't good. Baylor's no good. Texas Tech's no good. I guess Kansas State's decent. Oklahoma State's a dumpster fire. But anyway, UCF having to travel 1,500 miles or something west. Now, they are lucky, though, that this game is at 4 p.m. and not at noon, because that would be 9 a.m. Florida time. So they don't have to worry about that as much as far as the time change is concerned. But it is still a long way to travel. I don't feel too confident about this pick either. I mean, was that more about Baylor last week, or did UCF just shoot themselves in the foot?
You know, I don't know, because I'm going to admit I didn't watch one play of the game. I found out what was going on like in the fourth quarter when everybody was posting about it on social media, and you know, so it's hard for me to even really comment on what went right or wrong. Just other than all I saw was like the Sports Center and the college football final, like 60-second recap of the fourth quarter, and it was just wild. Just really wild. West Virginia, though, is right 4-1.
Yeah, they are the biggest surprise in the Big 12 as far as I thought they were going to be like a 4-win team. They've already won 4 games.
I would be upset if I was a West Virginia fan, because you know they're going to win. They're going to
end up keeping Neil Brown. Yeah.
They're going to win 7 or 8 games, and then they're going to say, well, we can't fire Neil Brown now, and they're going to have to keep him.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he's a good coach. But anyway, different story for a different day.
Yeah, I guess I'm taking Kansas just because they're at home. The travel, the heartbreaking loss for UCF last week at home. Baylor's not good. Sorry, they're not. So give me the Jayhawks.
Here's one that surprises me a little. Colorado on the road at Arizona State, and Arizona State is only a 4.5-point underdog. Now,
yeah, it's weird.
The thing is, this is a game that people were picking Colorado to win in July. Like, that's how bad the perception of Arizona State was. Like, when you said, okay, Colorado is probably, the Vegas win total was like 3 games or whatever, and you were like, okay, Colorado State, Arizona State, and then pick another team somewhere. I'm a little surprised this is only 4.5. Now, I don't know completely what to make of the second half of the Colorado Southern Cal game. I mean, I do know Colorado's got a good offense, and I know Southern Cal doesn't have a great defense, but that just was a little strange that, like, they had a hard time getting a first down in the first half, and then in the second half they just couldn't be if a football game was 65 minutes long, I'm pretty confident Colorado comes back and wins that game. Like, that's how drastic the difference was between the first half and the second half. So I'm having a hard time understanding how it is Colorado. It seems to me like in the off season, Colorado would have been like a 2-point favorite here or something. And now we've seen that Colorado is better than everybody thought, and they're only a 4.5-point favorite. I don't know. I've been picking against. I think I've picked against Colorado every week, but I'm gonna pick Colorado in this one and lay the 4.5 points.
Yeah, every week we see one of those lines where like, what's going on here? And usually, I mean, what was the one last week? We were like, what's this line here? And it ended up being right. I can't remember who it was now. Anyway, this one's confusing as shit to me, and I'm scared of it. If Colorado was favored by 10, I'd be more apt to lay money on Colorado than at 4.5. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is it only 4.5? Is it because the perception of Colorado over the past 2 weeks, the shine is worn off?
That's what I was thinking, or maybe like it's on the road and they went to Oregon and got boat raced. But like, did we forget that they went to TCU and put on a show? Like, that was a road game too. So like, it's not just like a Colorado's bad on the road thing, because their first game of the year was on the road and their offense was unbelievable. I don't know. This seems like a no-brainer. Like you said, a lot of times when you see a line that you're like, what? Like, this is free money. A lot of time it ends up being the opposite, but I'm going to fall for it again and take Colorado.
I'm going to fall for it too. I really can't justify. I mean, I know Hunter's still out, but he was out last week. So I don't know. It seems to me like Colorado should roll here. And even if they like struggle during the first half, Colorado in the second half of most of these games, outside of the Oregon game, has shown that they'll turn it on. You know what I mean? So yeah, give me the Buffaloes in this one at the -4.5. I think they should win this by at least 2 scores. I mean, I don't really understand this line.
Yeah, I would put this on the list with Vandy, Florida as candidates for funniest loss because it's just funny every time Colorado loses at this point. Kentucky at Georgia. This has come down 0.5 point. It opened up Georgia a 15-point favorite at home against Kentucky. I'll make a pick against the spread in a second, but just real quick on the game itself. Georgia and Kentucky are the exact same team, except one of the teams is infinitely more talented. College football is about matchups. Georgia's going to win this game. You can think Kentucky is the best team we've played, and Kentucky might be the best team we've played. But football is about matchups, and Kentucky can't do to Georgia what they do to other teams. They can't they just can't. They can't beat Georgia up on the lines of scrimmage. They just can't do it. Ray Davis may have a good game. He's not going to have 300 yards. Maybe he has 200. Auburn rushed for 200. And why did they lose? They have a quarterback that can't complete a pass. Guess who else can't complete a pass? Devin Leary. The guy, what was he? 6 of 14 or something for 80 yards or whatever it was last week against Florida. If you just would have saw Devin Leary's stat line last week, you would have said, wow, Kentucky got blown out. This is just a bad matchup for Kentucky. It doesn't mean Kentucky's not a good team. They are a good team. Here, Georgia, Kentucky, and Michigan are the exact same team. Exactly the same. Georgia is the most talented. Michigan is close. Kentucky is a ways back. Just in pure talent. I'm not knocking Kentucky. Stoops is one of the best coaches in football. And this is the most physical game Georgia plays every single year. And that's according to Kirby Smart. He says their rehab room is the most full on Sunday after the Kentucky game every single year versus any other team they play. So I'm not knocking Kentucky. I'm complimenting Kentucky. But it's at Georgia. Georgia's won 22 straight. A bunch that haven't lost at home since 2019. It's a night game. I just feel like it's a bad spot for Kentucky, a bad matchup. It's going to be the popular thing this week to say Kentucky's going to beat Georgia. Look how Auburn ran for 200 yards against you. Kentucky ran for 300 yards against Florida, so therefore they're running for 900 yards against Georgia. I get all that in the comments section, and I love reading that. It breaks up the monotony of my day with fits of laughter, which is amazing. But Georgia's winning this game. Carson Beck will have another 300-something yards passing, just like he can pass for 300 yards in his sleep. Georgia will win the game. Now on the spread, 14.5. Georgia has not covered a spread all year. I wouldn't bet a dime on this game. For pick purposes, I'll take Georgia in the 14. I'll lay to 14.5 for pick purposes. I wouldn't bet one dime. If you're going to bet, I'd bet on Kentucky. I mean, and if you believe half the shit you type, you'll take Kentucky on the money line and make 5 times your money. $100 will win you 500 or 490. So if you believe half the shit you type, you'll do that, but you don't, so you won't. Nor do you have $100. But Georgia will win. Go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah, the hook is going to get me here the other way. I would actually take Kentucky in the points. I do think Georgia wins. First of all, it's silly to pick against a team that hasn't lost in over 2 years, right? But when was the last time that you played Kentucky, halfway through the season where you were both undefeated? Has that happened anytime in recent history?
We normally play Kentucky a little later in the year. Now, interesting fact, though, because there's a lot of people hyping Kentucky up. And look, Kentucky's a good team, okay? Kentucky's been 5-0 4 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
How's that worked out? Just like, look, I'm in no position to talk about scheduling this season because Georgia's schedule is dog shit when it comes to the non-con. Look at Kentucky's non-con schedule in September from now to back to the beginning of time. Yeah, they're 5-0. Yeah, they beat Florida. They've beat Florida 3 years in a row. They've been 5-0 4 of the last 5 years. They're going 8-4 again, aren't they? I mean, that's what they always do. They haven't beat Georgia since, 2009? Something like long time. It's been a long time. Yeah, so Georgia wins.
All right.
I don't blame you for taking the points, though. Georgia hasn't proven that they can come out and dominate a game like they did the last 2 years. So, I I don't think anybody's dumb or stupid or crazy or whatever for taking Kentucky in the 14.5. That's probably the smart bet to make. It's probably the smart bet to make, but I don't see Kentucky winning.
Like I said, the hook got me. I was talking today on the midday show, like what potential upsets for this week, right? We do that every week. And I came across this game, and originally I was like, this could be a potential upset for Georgia. They've started slow in a lot of games this year. But you know what? You're right. So somebody else mentioned, I can't remember who it was on the show. They said this is a bad matchup, right? Because Kentucky cannot throw the ball, and Georgia's run defense is really good. And so I feel like the Kentucky's gonna have a hard time putting the ball in the end zone. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to see some sort of I don't know. Beck might have to throw a pick 6 or 2 or fumble recovery for a touchdown for Kentucky to stay in this game. But I do think though that if Georgia starts slow like they have in several games this year, Kentucky can keep it interesting. And so I think that they could keep it within 14.5 by the end of the game. That's where I'm going with that. Kentucky, I think Georgia wins, but I would definitely not be shocked if Kentucky covered here. And Georgia hasn't covered all year.
Yeah. And Auburn burned us with the zone read, the quarterback pulling the ball out and taking off around the corner. Devin Leary's not doing that. Like Peyton Thorne, who's not even Auburn's rushing QB. That's Robbie Ashford. Peyton Thorne had like a 60-yard run on a zone read where he takes the ball, he takes the ball away from the running back at the last second, goes around the corner, and there's nobody there. Kentucky doesn't do that. Kentucky lines up and runs downhill at you. And that works a lot for Kentucky. But the problem is they line up against somebody like Georgia, who's basically built the same way Kentucky is tended not to work in the past. And without a passing game to go along with that, I just can't see Kentucky winning. But Georgia looks very beatable, and if they continue to, I don't know if you heard me say this the other day or not, Pete, but if you add up all the first quarters this season for Georgia, and think about the garbage that they've played, if you add up all the first quarters, Georgia's tied. That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're almost halfway through the season, is Kentucky the best team that you've played so far this year?
I think so. I think they're better. I think they're better than Auburn. I think Kentucky, South Carolina will be a great game. Again, a lot of it is matchups. Kentucky can't run the ball at all. Spencer Rattler's been kind of a magic maker this year. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if South Carolina beats Kentucky. It depends. We'll see when that game comes. I don't even know where that game's played this year. Obviously, if it's that's one where it's played, it makes a big difference to me. Kentucky and South Carolina. But so far, I would say, yeah, Kentucky has looked, better overall than South Carolina. Doesn't mean South Carolina couldn't beat Kentucky if they played. So I don't want them getting mad at me. But yeah, this is the best team Georgia's played so far, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, give me Kentucky with the points for sure. Yeah.
I mean, they're at least ranked. It's the first ranked team Georgia's played. So we'll see. 7:00 night game. Notre Dame at Louisville, man. 2 tough games back to back for Notre Dame, and it's hard to believe, but it's not getting any easier here on the road at Louisville. And Louisville's favored by 6.5. I'm torn on this one. I'm trying to decide: is Notre Dame due for a breakout game offensively, which is what we saw Notre Dame do the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, albeit against lesser competition. Then you got the Ohio State game, which turned into a defensive struggle. The Duke game, same thing. Both of those games was first 1 to 20 wins. You just don't see that much in college football. So I'm thinking, is Notre Dame due for sort of a I don't know if offensive explosion is the right word, but aren't they due to score 30? On the other hand, it's back-to-back road games coming off 2 very physical, tough, hard-fought, down-to-the-wire, emotional games. Can they get up again for a 3rd week in a row? I think I'm going to take Notre Dame here. But were people right about Louisville or what? I don't know. Let me hear what you have to say first. Maybe you.
I was definitely wrong about Louisville because I called them a 4-win team, but on the season they're 5-0. So I was 100% wrong about them as far as that goes. Now, the who had they played thing, yeah, I get that. They did, escape barely with a win against a bad NC State team last week on the road on Friday night, though. But at least they did. And we see a lot of these teams go on the road on Friday night when they're favored and ranked. Well, they weren't ranked last week; they're ranked now, but and lose. So they did find a way to win that. I do think that this, at least with the points anyway, this favors Louisville for all the reasons you just said. Notre Dame, 2 very close games. They found a way to win last week at Duke. They had to go on another road game. So this game's at prime time too. So Louisville's undefeated. That place will be packed out and loud. The home field advantage will definitely go to Louisville in this one. I don't know. Notre Dame has been they've been playing with fire. I'm still not ready to say that Notre Dame's going to lose this game because I think they're clearly a better team all around, but defensively, offensively, better quarterback, the whole thing. But I don't know, man. 6.5 points. I'm likely going to take Louisville on this one with the points. I think it's going to be another close game.
I'm going to go with you then and take Louisville. I'm going to do that too. That way, if it is a close game, Louisville can lose and I still got to pick right. We'll see.
Probably going to look stupid on this. I mean, Notre Dame owns the ACC lately. I mean, they do. I mean, they've had some close ones. Like that one last week might have been the closest one they've had in a while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, if this game were at noon, I might be more apt to take Notre Dame. But that place would be rocking.
Michigan on the road at Minnesota. Michigan looking to blow out their, 6th straight opponent. Michigan yet to struggle, yet to be tested, whatever word you want to use, which, obviously is not the case for Georgia, which is why I've moved them down to 8. Just too many games where Georgia hasn't looked dominant. Whereas Michigan, again, kind of like what you said with Louisville, we can talk about who Michigan has played, but Michigan has not had to come back from a 14-3 halftime deficit to beat a bad South Carolina team. Michigan was not losing in the third quarter to a bad Auburn team. They're not playing world beaters, but they're winning by 30 and 40 points a week. So that's why I haven't moved them down. It's not about who they've beat; it's about how they've beat them. Minnesota, I can't get the Minnesota-Nebraska game out of my head. That may bias me some here. I'm going to take Michigan and lay the points.
Yeah, I'm buying in on Michigan at this point. I realize all the people that say that, their competition, but again, they're destroying everybody they play. Yeah, Minnesota is just not very good. 19.5 is a lot, though.
Yeah.
It is a lot. But I'm a believer in Michigan right now. I think they might be the best team in the Big Ten. And I picked Ohio State preseason to make the playoffs and beat Michigan. So it's not like I'm just, hating on Ohio State here. But I think legitimately, that Michigan might be the most complete team offensively and defensively in the entire Big Ten. And I think they roll here. Make a statement.
Another good one in the SEC, Arkansas on the road at Ole Miss. You know what? I apologies to Lane Kiffin. I'm going to take Ole Miss here. They won a crazy game last week against LSU. I think they keep it going, and this could be a very interesting week in the SEC West because if Alabama loses to Texas A&M, the West becomes very interesting then with Ole Miss and Bama each having a loss. Bama, of course, owning the tiebreaker. And then watching sort of which one of them loses, another game, which would put the other one ahead. But I'm going to take Ole Miss at home here. I haven't been big on Arkansas all year. Outside of KJ Jefferson, it's hard for me to find anything to get excited about offensively with them. I know they've got a big offensive line in that, but I'm just not. I'll buy what Ole Miss is selling me offensively. I'm going to take Ole Miss and lay 11.5 at home.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this other than Arkansas is not good. The game's in Ole Miss. They'll roll. Arkansas's defense is awful. Ole Miss might score. I mean, look at the over-under 63. Ole Miss might score 50 in this game.
Yeah.
There you go. Give me the Rebels.
Georgia Tech on the road at Miami. Miami's favored by just under 3 touchdowns at 20.5. Miami kind of been off the radar for 2 or 3 weeks, really. They beat Texas A&M, and they were kind of the talk of the town, and then they played Bethune-Cookman. No one watched. They played Temple. No one watched. Have they also had a bye week?
They had a bye week this past week, yeah.
So that was now 4 weeks ago that they beat Texas A&M, and that was really the last time anybody saw Miami play because of they played Bethune-Cookman and Temple, which they destroyed both of them. Georgia Tech, that Bowling Green loss, I don't want to pile on Sea-Dog and Wreckman, but the Bowling Green loss, to me, is probably worse than any loss Jeff Collins ever had. And that's saying something because they lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, they lost, but they didn't lose as bad as they lost to Bowling Green. You're right.
It was bad. It was really bad. And I don't really know what to make of that because even though I wasn't sold on Georgia Tech being some great team or even making a bowl game, I did not think they would perform that poorly against a bad Bowling Green team. So it's a little concerning to me. Usually when you see a team, because let's face it, it's not like Georgia Tech was 0-4. Like the team had no reason really record-wise to be just throwing in the towel. I don't know if there's something going on in the locker room. I don't know if some of the players don't like the coach. I don't know if some of the coaches that were recruited by Jeff Collins don't like Brent Key, or if some of the coaches don't like to play. But when you see a performance like that this early in the season, when a team still has things to play for, I mean, because Georgia Tech didn't go into the season trying to make the playoffs. So like the fact they have 2 losses doesn't mean they're throwing the season away. Like getting to a bowl game was their goal, and like that was still within reach. It's just weird to me that type of effort got put on display by Georgia Tech this early in the season when they still had things to play for. That's concerning to me. I think Miami's been kind of waiting to play again for a month, really. I think they're going to put on a show again. I'm going to take Miami and lay the points. And I'm going to be honest. Normally, I like watching people suffer and be miserable. I'm not looking forward to Sea-Dog and Wreckman having to eat an actual crow. First of all, I don't think I don't think any of the parties involved in that, including Slim Shady Kane, should have made that bet. Because I don't know that that's safe to do.
Yes, I don't think it is either. And I don't even know where you get one.
I don't either. Something tells me they're going to have to. I think as gentlemen and friends, they should come up with. I think they should agree to throw that bet out the window and come up with something humiliating, sure, but eating an actual crow, I don't think is.
Look, I'm not a zoologist or a doctor, but I'm pretty sure you could die from doing that.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about in the comment section, 2 Georgia Tech fans, Sea-Dog and Rec Talk, and a Miami Hurricanes fan, Slim Shady Canes, made a bet on this game, I think in the offseason, that, you know the expression, if your team loses, you got to eat crow, like basically admit you were wrong. They made a bet that the loser had to actually eat a crow.
Yeah, a bird.
On camera, I guess.
Yeah.
Proof, like on video. And I just think that's a terrible... that's like if Georgia was playing, I don't know, Charleston Southern, and somebody said, Lou, if Charleston Southern wins, you have to eat a literal pile of shit. Like, there's no way I'm taking that bet. Like, I'm pretty confident Georgia can beat Charleston Southern, but I'm 100% confident I'm not eating an actual pile of shit. Like, there's certain bets I just wouldn't make, no matter how confident I am in that bet. This bet never should have been made, and I hope, cooler heads can prevail here. Maybe tomorrow on isn't the ACC show tomorrow?
Yes.
I'm hoping some sort of resolution can be reached here. Those are 3 of my friends, and I'm not looking forward to watching any of them eat an actual crow. But that's for them to decide. That's my 2 cents on it, though. But I am taking Miami to win by a million.
Like some people that are like super drunk make it like 3 o'clock in the morning on one of these back streams. But the thing is, neither Rec Talk or Sea-Dog drank alcohol. So I have no idea what they were thinking when they made that bet, especially considering the fact that we know Georgia Tech's just not good. So I don't even know why you'd make that bet in the first place. But look, everything points to Miami rolling in this game. They're coming off a bye week. They have a chance to heal up. They've destroyed everybody they played pretty much, even the bad teams. Georgia Tech's coming off a terrible loss to Bowling Green. The wheels are falling off. They demoted the defensive coordinator. They promoted the linebackers coach, I think, to defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It's just it's gone from bad to worst in Atlanta, Georgia. And I don't think that this game would probably be 21-0 at halftime. I mean, Georgia Tech's defense might be worse than LSU's.
Wow. That's alarming there.
Bad. Yeah, give me the Hurricanes to roll in this one. That's a lot of points, but not against Georgia Tech. It's not.
Somebody in the comment section, I missed the name and it already scrolled by, but they said Uncle Lou wouldn't be any good on Fear Factor. You remember that show?
Oh God, yeah, no, not
You're
me
100% right, sir. There's no way. You know what I do if I see a roach, a spider, or a snake in my house? You know what I do? I fucking move. Like I'm not like that's it. I'm out.
They didn't just do that stuff on there. They were drinking like horse semen and all kinds of shit. It was nasty what they did on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing any of that. I mean, the worst thing I've ever done, I right here on YouTube, I did the 1-chip challenge where I ate one of those hot chips. That's about as far as I'll go because I paid for that for 2 days afterwards. Trust me, you don't do that.
We were, God, this was a long time ago, but me and BA were laying in bed watching a movie or something. And you know the water bugs that'll come in the summertime looking for water?
Yeah.
There was, we were laying in bed in the bedroom watching TV or something, and I could see one crawling on my closet door. I said, that's it. I'm just gonna wall off the closet and go buy all new clothes. She got up and killed it because I was like, I'm not kidding. I was like, whatever's in there is staying in. It's a tomb now. Whatever's in there is staying in there. That's it. I'll go buy plywood or something, and I'll just wall off that closet and that's it.
I don't have any problems killing a bug. I'm not scared of bugs, but I'm definitely not eating them though.
I can't do it. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
I'm not eating a bug. It's just not happening.
All right. There's something else people control me on now. That and the fact that I don't put meat in my chili. There you go. It's coming up on the time of year where eventually, because it's already to the point now where it's like 55, 60 degrees here in the morning. That means soon it'll be cool enough for me to make my chili one Saturday for football. And I'll announce to the world yet again, like I do every football season when I make my chili, that I do not put meat in my chili. And people control me on that and the fact that I don't kill bugs. There you go. TCU on the road at Iowa State. Somebody has got to win this one. TCU's favored by 6.5. I'm going to take Iowa State at home because someone told me to a long time ago that used to have a relevant football channel.
I don't know who you're talking about. That could be a long list of people. But give me TCU. I'll go the other way. Give me TCU as the favorite on the road against Iowa State.
There you go.
And Big 12 down bad, bro.
Speaking of somebody's got to win, Texas Tech at Baylor.
Oh, God
Almighty.
damn.
Boy, if you watch this game and you're not a graduate of Texas Tech or Baylor, I don't know. Boy, I don't know what you're doing, but Texas Tech and Baylor. Baylor's favored by 1 at home. I'm going to take Baylor because they're the home team. I have no other logical reason why. Texas Tech, to me, one of the most disappointing teams in the country this year. Not that anybody, myself included, expected them to make the playoffs, but I did think that Texas Tech could potentially make the Big 12 title game. Boy, was I wrong on that. I'll take the home team. Give me Baylor.
The only reason I'm picking Baylor here is for Baylor, man. It's like I know he'll be there. He's got season tickets. He goes to every single home game. I would also like to say that I was one of the few people on YouTube who did not jump on the preseason Texas Tech train, and I'm not right about much. So I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back for that. They started out the season bad and really never recovered. Baylor coming off an emotional win on the road at UCF. Give me the Bears to cover the 1.
There you go. Oregon State at Cal. Now would be a good time to admit that through the first month of the season,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You can say it. It's fine.
Cade Klubnik is better than DJ Ukulele. Fuck! Fuck! God damn it, Lou.
It's all right. You know what? You and most people thought that.
Am I even is it even close? I quit looking after week 2 because I could just tell it was getting worse and worse for me.
No,
Talk about the
it's
game,
not.
I guess, and I'll look up their stats while you talk about the game.
Yeah, it's not particularly close at this point. The DJ's coming off 3 bad games. Now they still find a way to win. I mean, first of all, Oregon State's defense is really good, and they're really the reason that Oregon State's continuing to win here. But DJ has not looked good. I think he's averaging somewhere around 50% completion. You'll probably pull it up in a second, maybe 55%.
Yeah, you're dead on. So the bet that me and Pete had was between DJ Ukulele and Cade Klubnik. It was one bet involving 3 different stat categories, and whoever wins 2 of the 3 stat categories wins the bet. The categories were completion percentage, total yards, and total touchdowns. So it's passing and rushing yards, passing and rushing touchdowns. So for the Ukulele, he's completing 57.5% of his passes. For Cade Klubnik, he is completing 65.4. So an 8%. He's up 8%, which might not seem like a lot, but the further you get into the season, the harder it is to make up even 1 percentage point, because you have to you have to have so many pass attempts at that point to make it up. So that category is not even close. Cade Klubnik is running away with it. For total touchdowns, Cade Klubnik has 11 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns.
So
Make sure
13.
I'm looking at the right thing. Yeah, rushing touchdowns, 2. Passing touchdowns, Cade Klubnik has 11. So he's got 13 total touchdowns. The Ukulele total touchdowns, he's got 8 passing touchdowns, and he's got 5 rushing. Well, so they're actually tied there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I have a chance there. Now, the other one is total yards, and this one I think is not close either.
No.
So the Ukulele's got 1,032 passing and 117 rushing, so 1,132. Cade Klubnik has more than that. He's got 1,239 passing, 72 rushing.
Yeah, not a lot of rushing. Yeah, he's gone 2 weeks in a row with negative rushing yards. By the way,
Yeah.
Cade Klubnik has.
So he's about a little less than 200 yards ahead in total yards.
It's not over yet.
Tied in touchdowns and way up in completion. Yeah, it's not over, but
It's closer than I thought it was. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was more of a runaway at this point. It's closer than I thought.
yeah,
But
maybe I didn't realize that Ukulele had 5 rushing touchdowns. I knew he didn't. I knew he was behind in the passing, so maybe I didn't realize he had that many rushing touchdowns. So I don't know. Maybe I still have a chance, but anyway, we'll keep everyone updated. But right now, Uncle Lou's losing. So feel free to troll me on that as well. That'd be amazing. Look forward to that. Also, breaking news, I'm doing a comment on the comments video tomorrow. I can't take it anymore with you people comments on the ranking videos. I can't take it anymore. So I'm going to have to do like a 30-minute educational video where I humiliate several commenters.
that'll be good.
From my top 25 ranking video. So if you have something stupid to say, go to the top 25 video I posted earlier today and leave the stupidest comment you can think of on there if you want to be featured in that comment on the comments video tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. Arizona on the road at Southern Cal. Southern Cal is favored by 21.5. What's weird to me is I feel like Arizona is the better of the 2 Arizona schools, but Southern Cal is a 3-touchdown favorite over them, whereas Colorado's only a 4-point favorite
weird.
over the other one. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe things are backwards. I don't know. Also, Southern Cal's at home, whereas Colorado's on the road at the other Arizona. What do you think happened in the Colorado Southern Cal game? What happened in the second half? Was it a little bit of Southern Cal going, well, shit, this game's over at halftime, and the defense rolling over, or is that just kind of what we get from a Lincoln Riley defense? Which I know I know that is, but like, what did you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the two. I think it's what you get from a Lincoln Riley defense. Also, I think that Colorado, you got to give Colorado credit, right? They didn't give up.
Yes.
I mean, Shedeur Sanders is an absolute baller. I mean, he's not going to stop until the clock's at 0.
What do you
But-
think about him staying at Colorado next year?
Well, based on the draft class, I think it's the right move. This is a deep draft class.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's the right move as far as that goes. I think his draft stock will improve from next year considering competition that he has this year. There's like 5 or 6 guys that legit could be drafted in the first round. There won't be that many quarterbacks taken in the first round just because there isn't that many teams that need one. But there's 5 or 6 guys that are first round like talent. So he'll be stuck in sort of a hodgepodge of a group of people. So I think him staying back is actually the right thing to do.
Yeah. I think if he's projected as a first round pick, he's out of his mind to come back.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think there might be a lot of pressure on him to stay from.
Well, his dad's already said he's staying. So what daddy says goes.
Since that's it for the games and it's 11:40, so we got a few minutes. Colorado's recruiting class doesn't exist. So my question is this. Are we looking at a situation here where on early signing day, remember the Cormani McLean thing? He's going to Florida school, whichever one it was, I forget. And then it was just this huge flip at the last minute at the time, Jackson State. Are we looking at a situation here where Deion knows that there are a handful of, let's just say 4 and not necessarily just 5 stars, but 4 and 5 stars, say even 10 that are committed elsewhere, but there's going to be this huge mass flip on signing day, and he signs a bunch of 4 and 5 stars, or because they only have 5 or 6 commits, like it's pitiful.
Yeah.
Or is Deion just going to say, you know what? If I can't sign a 4 or a 5 star, I'm just not going to sign anybody. And I'm going to bring in 40 transfers again because, you're going to lose 20, 30 players, whatever it is, to graduation, draft, transfers out. Is he going to just say, fuck it. I'll take a handful of 4 stars every year on signing day, and then I'm going to go sign 30 transfers again? And is that what he's going to, like, what do you think?
I mean, based on the way that he's handled it so far, and I realize coming in and taking a 1-10 team is a different situation than this year, but he's already pretty much set the precedent where he's not willing to take bad players. I mean, he ran off the majority of the team that was there because they weren't good players.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with you. I don't know if he's going to settle for signing 25, 33 stars out of the at a high school. Yeah. And trying to, work on 2 and 3 years and developing them. I think he wants to win now at all costs every year. That seems to be the way I understand it. I don't know. So I'm sort of with you. I think he might just sign, whatever 4 and 5 stars he can get. And I don't know. I do tend to think what you said in the beginning there was, will we see a massive flip towards signing day towards Colorado from a lot of these high star players? I do think you'll see some of that, but not enough to fill that entire class.
Right.
Right. So he could end up signing a good deal of high star players, but I don't really see him signing a bunch of 3 and 2 stars guys to fill in our roster. So I do think he won't probably need as many transfers as he got this year. It'll go down significantly, but he still will take probably 40 transfers, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the exact number is of how many people are leaving that were transfers. Somebody else might know that. Me and you don't follow recruiting close enough to know that. I certainly don't know.
Yeah, I just happened to look up the other day, like where they were ranked in recruiting, and it's like way down in the 30s or 40s or something, and which seems bad. But then,
I don't even think in the top 50 right now.
Number of commitments is like only 6, and I was like, well, no wonder they're ranked so low. Everybody else is getting up to a full class, and they're sitting there at 6, and it just made me think. And I do think that's what he's going to do. What's been done forever in recruiting is you have like a wish list, and then you have like the backup list. Like we want these 20 players, and maybe we'll get some of them, whatever. But if we don't get this particular offensive tackle who's a 4-star, we've got these 3 or 4 offensive tackles that we're looking at too, and we'll just sign them. Maybe they're 3-star. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to go after the big name people and he gets what he gets on that first day in December, whenever it is, and then he's going to take the rest of December and January and fill everything in with transfers. That's what I
That's the
think.
way it seems. They're
Yeah.
saying they're right in the 70s right now, according to 247.
Let me look.
I mean,
let me
it's
look again.
October, so I mean I know there's still the February signing day and all that, but really, whatever 90-something% of your players are going to be signed in December. So we're 2 months away. It's not like he's got a bunch of time to go from 70 to 20 or whatever. It's going to be another year. I do think he'll land a good deal, maybe late, like you said, of 4 and 5 star players. Maybe they flip from whatever, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, LSU, whatever, to go play for Deion, but not near enough to bring him up into the top 25 or top 20 in total recruiting. Which is where
here they are at 70. They're at 75. So the chat's right. They're at 75. They've only got 8 commits. You can sign between 20 and 30, depending on how many players you have leaving from graduation, draft, whatever.
That's the number I don't know, is how many people are leaving Colorado after this year. That's the key.
So 3 4 stars and 5 3 stars. Now, we all know some 3 stars can be diamond in the rough. It can be good. Maybe there's certain players Deion's targeting. But he's got 8. And you say, well, he's ranked 75th. That's terrible. It is terrible. But you scroll up here to everybody that's in the top 10. I mean, their classes are filling up. 26, 22, 22, 21, 20, 21, 24, 23, 20, 24. So
legitimately, though, how many of those players can he get to flip from those commits from those top 10?
Well, that's the thing. Like, he may get 1 or 2, maybe more. I don't know. But it's like you said, it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be a situation where on that early signing day in December, 25 of these people flip to Colorado. Maybe a few. I think this is an intentional plan. Like, I think it's what you said. Instead of what's been done in recruiting forever, where you sign the 4 and 5 stars that you can and you fill in everything else with 3 stars and you sign as many people as you can, Deion's saying, fuck all that. I'm only signing players I think can play, like now or soon, and then I'm going to go get a bunch of sophomores and juniors out of the portal. I 100% think that's the plan. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I mean, it may be, that may be the way to go for somebody like Colorado. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see, because the whole team chemistry thing is just going to be out the window. I mean, he's building a team of mercenaries. And again, I'm not saying it's right, wrong, work, won't work. We're going to find out over the course of the next couple of years. But this isn't a situation where you're going to have a class of kids, a class of freshmen coming in, 25 freshmen coming in, bonding, becoming lifelong friends, rooming together for years, going out, putting it all on the line for each other every Saturday. This is going to be a roster of mercenaries. It may work. I'm not saying it won't work, but it's going to be interesting to see.
And the amount of transfers he got this year, and a lot of them were really good players, and that was with a total experiment, not knowing what he was going to look like in the Power 5, and Colorado was a terrible team. Imagine all the guys that are on the fence about transferring right now, sitting, 4 and 5 star recruits that are sitting on the bench at their respective schools going, if Deion gives me a chance, I'll transfer out in a heartbeat to go play for him.
Yeah.
So he may be, look, I don't know how this is all going to turn out. But I have no doubt that the roster from Colorado, no matter how he does it, will improve from this year to next year. How is he going to?
Let's see. Where did Colorado end up this season on the talent rankings? Because, the talent rankings take transfers and everything else into account. So let's, talent-wise, now this is just evaluating a roster's talent level. So, the star level, the recruiting level, whatever. 35th. You think they're one of the best 35 teams?
They're
probably close to that.
Yeah, right. That's probably about right.
Yeah. So I don't think this is like some amazing, out-of-this-world coaching performance. I also don't think it's a flop, which is what a lot of people thought it might be. If you've got the 35th most talented team and you're between the 30 and 40th best team in the country, you're basically meeting expectations requisite to your talent level at that point. So not, the other thing I question about Colorado long term is, and a lot of teams have this same issue. It's so quarterback driven. that team. You know, if the next quarterback they get, whether Shador goes pro after this year or comes back, at some point we're going to see a Deion Sanders team with a quarterback not named Shador Sanders. It's so quarterback driven. I mean, there's really nothing else. Like, the defense is not good at all. Both lines of scrimmage are some of the worst in the Power 5. Their running game is the worst, close to the worst in the country. I mean, it's you know the joke last year, like if Bama didn't have Bryce Young, you know, they'd be 7-5.
Yeah.
What if Colorado didn't have Shador Sanders? Now, they do. So it's kind of a pointless argument to make. But looking into the future, when a team is that quarterback driven, it makes you wonder.
Yeah. That is the one position, though, that I think you can afford not to have to recruit them out of high school and be successful off the bat. I mean, look around the country. You've got what's his face at Oregon. You've got Caleb Williams. I mean, some of the best quarterbacks in the country are transfers. I mean, we already know the deal with Joe Burrow going to LSU.
Yeah.
There's teams that recruit they have 3 5-star quarterbacks on their team, and you can't play all 3 of them.
Right.
So it's right. That might be the easiest position to go pluck a blue chip player from, as opposed to an offensive lineman or even a running back or something like that.
Going to be interesting.
And it's a very quarterback friendly type of offense that he runs. I mean, if he's got somebody that's capable, they're going to put up a lot of yards and stats and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. All right, well, that's going to do it. Another successful edition of the Lunch Money Shoe is in the books. I think we had some super chats come in. Let's read those before we get out of here. I'm sorry for ignoring these during the show. It's just we try to run through the odds like that without stopping every few minutes. But let's go through these super chats here. Hold My Beer, thank you for the super chat. He says, Mizzou by 9, no questions or follow-up, please. They're hosting LSU. You picked Mizzou. I think we both did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Robert Lane, thank you for the super chat. He says, Oklahoma 35, Shorthorns 31. Boomer Sooner. So he's expecting a close one there. Look, as a college football fan, I hope that's what we get. Harlan Harris says, me, whatever that means. FSU Clemson, PayPal. Thanks, Pete. By the way, Clemson should be ranked. If you're still watching Harlan, just send him the email with whatever the information is.
I'm looking at my email right now here.
Hold My Beer, thank you for the super chat. He says, Edward didn't read the script this week. He spoke from the heart and according to the cymbal clapping monkey up top. Thank you, Hold My Beer. Voltard Representative says, great monologue, Edward. I laughed, I cried, so many emotional twists and turns, said so much and yet nothing at all. And in the end, all I got from this is we need mental asylums back and accepted. Ben Swaggerty says, Lou, thoughts on Baylor coming back down 35-7. We talked a little bit about that earlier. It's hard for me to talk in specifics about that game without lying to you because I didn't watch one snap of the game. Like I mentioned before, literally all I started getting texts and like social media alerts and stuff like that about this crazy comeback. And so I kind of just kept up with the score, didn't watch a single snap of the game. And then I saw basically the Sports Center and college football final kind of 60-second, here's what happened type of thing. But look, anytime you have a comeback of 35-7 at any point, but never mind that second half thing like that in the fourth quarter, it's unbelievable. I think I read that was the second biggest comeback in so many years or something. And the other one was that, who was it that it was SEC versus Pac-12? Was it Texas A&M and Cal or Texas A&M and UCLA, something like that. And the SEC team was up by like 30 or 40, I think. And the Pac-12 team came back to win. That was another wild one. I may be getting the teams wrong, but that was another. That was they mentioned that along with this Baylor UCF game. Trucking with Jeter, thank you for the super chat. He says, I'm still punching the air after that Florida shit show. Vandy could beat us this week. They could, but I don't see it happening. An embarrassing performance by Florida for sure, but I don't think they're going to lose to Florida. Mike Lucas says, give me one reason LSU should be ranked that doesn't involve mentioning a loss. I agree with you. LSU being ranked at 3-2 is the most indefensible ranking in the entire top 25 right now in the AP poll. There's no legitimate reason to rank LSU. Not a single one. Not a single one. Mike Lucas says, Michigan has, quote, looked better, but Texas has 2 ranked wins. Ranked wins will always trump eye test. Texas number 1. Mike Lucas says, to chat, bragging about how your team has beaten the spread so they should be ranked higher is the most potato take of all time. I do think that gambling becoming so prevalent in college football has sort of twisted what it can mean to win a game sometimes. Coaches don't give a fuck about the spread. They don't. You see a lot of teams that'll be favored by 21. They're up by 20. Other team goes down, kicks a field goal. You're mad at the coach. All that kind of. These coaches don't care. I do think that sometimes we put too much stock in. And look, I love to gamble. I love this. I've been looking at spreads since I was 8 years old, sitting on my granddaddy's lap reading parlay cards off of an index card. I love to gamble. But I think you have to separate the gambling portion of college football from ranking teams. When you start trying to justify putting one team ahead of another because one team covered the spread and one team didn't, I think that's probably the wrong way to go. So I think I agree with what you're saying. Parker says, which conference will win the Natty? Which conference? If I had to guess right now, which conference will win the Natty? I will go with you know what? I think I'm going to go with the Big Ten because to me, they've got 3 teams that could legitimately win it, and all 3 are still undefeated. Go ahead.
He did send me an email with a screenshot from back on, when was this? June the 5th. For $50. The message in it says Florida State versus Clemson money or pick 'em, and with question mark. So I'm sending you the money right now. I don't remember making that bet with him. I feel like he sent me the PayPal asking if I wanted to bet on it without me confirming it before he sent it. But I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. So I'm sending you your winnings right now, sir.
There you go, Harlan. Hoverbilly Paul says, happy birthday, Pete. Pete, is it your birthday?
Well, in 3 minutes it is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, shit, we might have to keep you on for another 3 minutes just so we can be the first ones to wish you happy birthday. D4 says, Edward has a higher IQ than 99.9% of Blow U fans. I think he's talking about Oklahoma because he's, of course, a Texas fan. Noah Sanders. This is why, geography aside, this is why I do think Texas and Oklahoma are a good fit for the SEC because I feel like it's a fan fit. Like Texas and Oklahoma fans are insane, and so I feel like the fan base fits in with the SEC. So that's a lot of people say, "Wow, I don't want the expansion," or Texas and Oklahoma aren't in the Southeast, whatever. The fans definitely fit in, though. Noah Sanders says, just curious, Utah ahead of Duke, waiting on Rising, ? Well, neither one of those teams has a quarterback today, as of today. I don't know what you're curious about, though. Just curious, Utah ahead of Duke, waiting on Rising, ? Both teams have one loss. Both teams have a good win. Neither team has a quarterback today. So I'm not real sure what you're getting at there. Hoverbilly Paul says, Pete is my favorite tater man. Go Tigers. And we have 1 minute to go until Pete's birthday. And no matter how mad it makes Pete, we're going to make him stay on for 1 more minute. I hope he's still. I guess he's still on here. Let me see. Yeah, he's still here. Let's see, what is this? All right. Here we go. Happy birthday, Pete. Pete has checked out, apparently. Oh, there he is. What happened?
That was an accident. I was trying to exit out of PayPal, and I exited out of StreamYard instead.
Did you hear your happy birthday song or no?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
good,
you.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Chinese or what was that?
That was Japanese. Yeah. Yeah. I tried to find, I typed in Japanese restaurant happy birthday. I wanted to find a video of them banging the drums and shit like they do in a restaurant. I couldn't find one, so I just clicked on the whatever I did find, and it was just some Japanese lady singing happy birthday.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you for all the happy birthday wishes. I'm 1 day closer to death, but at least I'm still above ground. So there is that.
how old are you, or do you not say?
Yeah, 43.
43. Man, I remember those days like it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing real quick too. Huffer Billy Paul headed back up to the mountains this week, I heard.
I heard that. Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah. I'm jealous too. So when it told me he was going, I started thinking in my head, okay, if I cancel one call-in show, pre-record 3 or 4 videos, and I'm like, no, don't do that, Lou. Don't do that.
You started to justify it.
Yeah, I'm like, well, just cancel one call-in show, and I can pre-record some videos, but nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm going to New Orleans next month and staying at the Harrah's there, so I'm excited about that. You know what I started doing? You know how everywhere you go, no one carries cash anymore, so like everywhere you go, like the thing comes up like, do you want cash back? Literally literally everywhere I go, if the thing comes up, do you want cash back? I hit yes, and I do like $20 or $40 or something. So I'm just like, it's just a little bit of money at a time. But then my man purse that I have.
Yeah.
When I get home with that $20 or $40, I stuff it in that man purse. Now, I have no idea how much money's in there, but however much money is in there, that's how much I'm gambling at in New Orleans when we go. Because we're not going to gamble. We're going to do other things. We're just staying at the Harrah's because I get the room for free. But, so I'm just going to do one round of probably blackjack. And, so however much money I can stuff in that purse between now and the time we go to New Orleans next month, that's how much I'm gambling
is
on.
Is it an actual Harrah's property or is it just a Caesar's property?
Well, it used to be called Harrah's New Orleans. They have recently rebranded. It's now called Caesar's New Orleans. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what the difference is, but they've rebranded.
Doesn't matter,
yeah. But I was looking at the restaurant list on there, and man, it really. I guess when you, and I guess this is something I'm going to figure out when we go to Vegas too. Like, I love Cherokee, but like when you start looking at what's available at some of these other casinos, like Cherokee's just not it. I mean, there's like 8 different restaurants at that Caesar's in New Orleans. Yeah. There's an Emerald's, there's a seafood restaurant, there's 2 different steak restaurants. There's a noodle place that sounds kind of like the noodle place at Cherokee, but then there's another, and these have gotten popular here over the last couple of years. These faux ramen restaurants, ramen. Fancy ramen type. There's a there's one of those. Anyway, there's like 7 or 8 different like sit down restaurants there. So anyway, that'll be fun. But yeah, so however much money I can stuff in that man purse.
When are you going to? When is that?
Right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Sunday in between. So Thanksgiving weekend is the last weekend of the regular season. The next Saturday is conference championship weekend. We're going Sunday to Thursday. So I'll be back because I think it's the Pac-12 plays their championship game on Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll be back Thursday. So I'll be back for all the conference championship games. But yeah, we're leaving the Sunday after Thanksgiving and coming back on Thursday.
So we're going to San Antonio in a couple of weeks from now.
Oh.
For like 2 days during the week. It's not during the weekend. That's the only reason I'm going.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pete's going there for a conference, and she wants me to go with her.
Okay.
So, but what do you think the first thing I did was?
Well, I already know. You checked for a casino.
Yeah, there's none there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I've never been anywhere in Texas, but isn't San Antonio where they have like an amazing river walk or something?
Yeah, it's like there's that river that runs right through the city.
Yeah, I've heard that's like the coolest riverfront place in all. In
yeah,
the
hotel
country.
we're staying at is right on that river.
Okay.
I've heard it's a cool town. My brother actually, my brother was in the Air Force, and he lived there for like 2 or 3 years. And he said and he's lived all over the country, traveling around, being in the military. And he said out of all the cities he was stationed in, that was his favorite one.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to going. I don't know, I think it's a good like place to like go see music and food and all that. Other than that, I don't really know what's there. But
have you ever been anywhere in Texas?
Well, I've been through Texas on a plane. Like I've been through Dallas Fort Worth Airport, but I've never like went and stayed there before. No.
Yeah. I've never. Well, I went to New Orleans about 15 years ago, and while we were there for a week, and while we were there, we bought tickets to a concert that was in Shreveport. I didn't realize New Orleans was on one side of the state and Shreveport was on the other. It's like 4 hours to drive to this concert. But anyway, Shreveport was on the border of Texas. So when we were on the way to the concert, instead of getting off to go to the concert, I drove into Texas, got off at the first exit, turned around, and came just to say I'd been to Texas. Well, that's literally the only time I've been to Texas. But I wouldn't mind going there. And if I was going to go, I think San Antonio, from what I've heard from other people, I think San Antonio is probably where I would go. I'm sure y'all have a good time. Yeah,
Austin and San Antonio are two of the biggest, most popular cities in the state there.
Yeah.
I will go to the Alamo. Everyone's saying go to the Alamo. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go represent for the Americans.
Will you remember it?
I hope so.
I can't remember the Alamo. Okay. I hope so too. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. Pete, happy birthday, buddy.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, we'll talk to you next time. There you go. The Lunch Money Show in the books. How to lose money betting on college football. It's literally that easy. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight for the Lunch Money Show. It means a lot to me and Pigskin Pete. We have a good time hanging out with y'all on Monday nights. Can't wait to do it again next week. I'll be back Tuesday and Thursday for the call-in show, 9 p.m. both nights for Uncle Lou After Dark, the college football call-in show. Give me a call Tuesday, Thursday night. We'll talk some college football. We can talk about last weekend's games. We can talk about next weekend's games. Whatever you want to talk about in the world of college football. We have a great time on those call-in shows. So I hope to see you there. Not sure yet on the streaming schedule for this weekend. I'm waiting on the poll to wrap up over on the Patreon page so I can figure out what time slot it is they want me to stream. The poll was leaning in the direction of prime time on Patreon, but that could always change over the course of the next couple of days as more people vote over there. But when I looked this afternoon, the prime time slot was leading the way. So if that's the case, the prime time stream would be on Patreon, and then I'll probably do either the noon or the 3:30 games on YouTube. But I'll let you know for sure by Thursday what the game stream schedule is for this weekend. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week. And have a good morning.